Commissioners Court will come to order. It is 10 o'clock, Tuesday, May 29th. And of course, we'll be meeting today because yesterday was a holiday. We do have a quorum present. Mr. Beecham, Commissioner Harvey, Commissioner Muller, 3 makes a quorum. First order of business would be to designate a Judge Pro Tem to proceed in the absence of our judge. Woody Gossman, yeah, I think I remember.
I make a motion to make Commissioner Muller Judge Pro Tem for today.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second that I serve as Judge Pro Tem. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Is that a reluctant aye? All opposed, same sign. It'll be 3-0 and it passes. Moving right along, if you will please stand with me. Next order of business, invocation by Commissioner Harvey or designee.
Pray for me.
Thank you. Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask that you would come and lay your hand on our shoulder as we make decisions for the citizens of Wichita County. It's a very important job. We take it very seriously, and divine guidance is always appreciated. Lord, thank you for this nation. Thank you for the many men and women who laid down their lives to keep us free. That's what Memorial Day is all about. That's why we celebrate it, to remember and make sure that we never forget. Lord, we just ask that you be with our men and women in uniform as they protect us in harm's way. We'd ask that you be with our first responders, help keep us all safe. Be with our county family. We know we have lots of folks that have different illnesses and different problems, and if you would just shore them up and help them, Lord, we would appreciate that. We've got some great people that work for the citizens of Wichita County in this organization, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate your blessings upon them. Lord, watch us and keep us, and most of all, save us from our many sins. These things we ask in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. First of all, to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Be seated, please. Do you have any presentations? Nancy, no presentations? Let's move on to the consent agenda. You have a consent agenda in front of you, gentlemen. Any comments or questions?
The shortest consent agenda I've ever seen.
It really is. It really is. Just really taking care of some business and completing some projects and signing some things. Any questions or comments?
Can I make a motion?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Harvey. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Second by Commissioner Beecham. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And it passes 3-0. General business, review and approve regular bills for payment.
Make the motion that we approve regular bills for payment.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, review the regular bills for payment. Any discussion from the audience? Any questions? Anything from you gentlemen? Hearing none, I will ask for the question. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. And we will pay the bills by a margin of 3-0. Item number 2, discuss, what's that?
Wait a minute. I just wanted to say, just because we didn't have discussion on the bills, we go through those things on Friday.
Every one of them.
Everyone. And I'm telling you, some of that stuff is through the roof. And you just don't know what to do about it. So we're gonna pay it, we have to. I wish some of you guys could say go through with us, just one time, just to see. Moving on.
Thank you, and that's exactly right. We look at every invoice and every bill every Friday. We started that, what, a year ago, something like that, and it has been a good practice to see exactly where our money's going and what we're being charged for. Every once in a while, we find something in there that we need to question. Moving to general business number 2, discuss, consider, and take action or take action to approve one of 2 quotes from Brieger Building Products Incorporated to either patch or replace tile in the 7-5 shower area to be paid from 100.512.4452 repair and maintenance building. We talked about this last week, so give us an update on what we're really talking about.
As discussed, you got a microphone anywhere?
Yeah, come to the.
Oh, joy.
Yeah,
a big joy.
yeah.
I like this. I'll leave that.
Well, it puts it on the recording is the main thing. We can hear you
Oh, no,
fine,
it's
but, yeah,
quite all right.
it makes it work.
You threw me off. I like my chair. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, last Wednesday, we discussed the 7-5 shower project. Tiles falling off the wall, so. We discussed it last week. I guess we decided it needed, in order to approve it, we need to do this on Monday. So it's either to patch it for around $700 or completely replace it. I do not have that quote in front of me. It is on my computer. But
I'm showing 1341, does that sound
Yes,
right?
that sounds accurate.
For full replacement and 736 for repair.
What is your recommendation?
My recommendation is a full repair.
Mine too.
Did I hear that? Form of the motion, Commissioner Harvey?
I'll make a motion, we do a full repair.
Got a second?
Yes.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the audience? Any comments from commissioners? You got it?
Once the tiles start falling off, water gets in behind it, and when the ground gets saturated, it's wet, the rest of that stuff's gonna turn loose too. So we might as well just fix it now, instead of having to spend this money and then come back and take what we just put on and off and fix the rest of it. So I think it's a good business move,
Yeah.
to go ahead and fix it all.
We still have 2 years to have to do it.
Yeah, and actually surprised that it's only that much more to do the complete repair. I think it's a good deal. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign, and motion passes 3-0. Okay, Mr. Spiegel, also the item number 3, discuss, consider, and/or take action to authorize the sheriff's office purchase a plumbing compression tool kit for maintenance purposes in the jail at a cost of up to $3,000 to be paid from 100.512.3324 small tools.
Okay. I'll give a background just like we just did for the tile. A year ago, my maintenance guys expressed a need for a tool to quickly and efficiently change out fixtures and such. So I asked them what kind of tool would that entail. They told me what kind of tool they needed, the Rigid RB 340. I think that's the tool they told me. And researched it, found some for around $3,200, one up to $3,400. But locally, we went to talk to them and they gave us a quote for about $3,000. Well, $3,000 flat is what they gave us a quote for. I've asked them why they needed that tool in particular. They said because of its relative compact size, they can get it into the small areas of the jail. You guys ever been into the MegTech area of the jail? You have? Okay.
Yes.
There are plumbing panels that you have to take off, and it's just difficult to change fixtures out in there with larger tools. Anyhow, that's one of the reasons that we need something.
There are alternatives available.
Absolutely.
And do we know what size, for one, what size fittings we're dealing with? This one goes all the way up to 2-inch.
Yes, we usually do 1.5 inch and lower. That's what we use, and so we wanted to get something that would accommodate for that.
Yeah, there are several alternatives that are way less expensive.
Now, you said you were going to do some research. Did you find anything?
Yeah, there's several, but
Okay.
it's not up to me to do the research.
Well, you just said that you would do the research. That's what we're doing, about the research.
There are compression tools that are articulating and hydraulic, that you can articulate in order to get it into more confined space, that are ratcheting or hydraulic. There are also just the old-fashioned crimp.
Those ones won't work in the spaces that I'm talking about.
It's not that we don't want to get the tools, but going to a $3,000 outlay on a tool that might be used 3, 4, 5 times per year.
That's not entirely true. In the research that I did, there was, in a 7-month period, there were 4 instances that I could guarantee were
Needed.
needed. Yeah, we had to call somebody else to do it. That was 4 times, cost us $2,700 and $75.62.
The one that I have, Andrew, is just like a squeeze deal. You just squeeze it like it's a ratchet deal. You just squeeze it and it just,
Is that for all types of plumbing?
Different size fittings, put different size
Guys,
dies in it. And it, you get Tractor Supply, I mean, it's not $20,000. That's what I bought for myself, and it
Okay.
works great.
And it works on all types of plumbing, that's like copper line and
You can
PEX,
put anything that you compress.
anything.
Yeah.
No, we don't-
Also has another deal on it for like stainless steel tubing, that you can put in there and do the ratchet deal and put a 90-degree or 45-degree bend in stainless steel tubing without crimping.
we don't have one of these in building maintenance, do we?
No,
Well, that's what we're trying to buy.
yeah, building maintenance and facility maintenance are two different departments. However, if the county were to purchase it, then, yeah,
They need
then
to
both use
both
it.
have access to it, without doubt.
Oh, building maintenance.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, building
I
maintenance.
understand now what he's talking
I know,
about.
it's just two different,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, but just, same county. I guess my thing is, we bring it to your attention because we spent nearly $3,000
Yeah.
in 7 months, we spent nearly $3,000, and y'all didn't even know about it, y'all reviewed the bills and paid for it anyways.
Right. Because it doesn't say on there, we had to call them out because we didn't have this tool. Doesn't say that.
It's a plumbing bill.
It's the plumbing.
Yeah, and so that's why we do the research, that's why we bring it to you. I understand that we have,
So,
you always have a cheaper option, I'm just looking for what's the most effective.
No, I mean, so are we. I mean, the tool that's been brought to us is one that would go on a plumber's truck that would be used every day, day in,
It works
day
good.
out.
And it would do a great job,
It would
yeah.
do a great job. We're looking at, again, a handful of times a year.
Which would pay for itself in less than a year.
oh yeah, but this other one is,
But the other one works just as well, understand that.
Just as well?
Yeah.
Why did they invent the new one?
For a plumber that uses it every day, day in, day out,
when you're doing the lots, when you're doing the whole house,
Mm-hmm.
you do the hydraulic. Zzz, 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 zzz.
Yeah.
And you just change the one,
you know, click, 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 you're done.
it's simple, it works good.
3 or 4 clicks and,
So we're gonna say no on the 3,000, or we're gonna say yes on the mechanical ratchet type. So that would be my motion.
Okay, do you guys have a model number, anything like
We
that, or just?
Come see us after court, we'll show you.
Okay. All right,
It works good. You will not be unhappy with
Okay, got a motion?
it. Yep.
Have a
get a
second?
cost on it, up to cost.
Yes, please.
Well, they run it about $800.
For articulating ratchet.
Up to
Yeah, about
1,000?
Up to 1,000.
Up to 1,000.
Up to 1,000,
Up to 1,000. We'll get it underneath that, but yeah, up to 1,000.
that's your motion, Commissioner?
Yes, it
And
is.
I understand I've got a second from Commissioner Beecham.
Yes.
Any discussion, questions from the audience? Have you seen none? I would ask for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Passes 3-0. We will move along and see if we can get that
Andrew, just
get going.
come by when we get through here. We'll get that thing ordered.
Discuss and,
I'll probably bring David and Ray up here too, just, they know more about that stuff than I do.
yeah, and we want them to sign off on it. We want to make sure we're on the
Well,
same
that's
page.
what they need to work with.
Absolutely.
We're just gonna be responsible with.
Well, I don't think that we were being irresponsible by asking for something like that. I think it was responsible that we did the research and then
Absolutely.
brought it to you.
Absolutely.
Well, but his point is, we can accomplish our goal and spend 1/3 of the money. That's what we're talking about, being
understand.
responsible with tax dollars.
Okay.
Item number 4, discuss, consider, take action, approve putting downtown jail generator on a regular service schedule with cost to be paid from 100.511.4454 repair and maintenance building equipment.
Make a motion, we table item 4.
I have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second with discussion.
Okay, sure.
We did receive one bid for this.
Yeah. Actually, it's a quote.
Or quote,
Yeah.
one quote. The quote seems pretty out of line.
Pretty strong.
Yeah. We need to look into other avenues and ask for some additional quotes before we move.
Yep, we just want to get some more quotes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can table it without motion, Commissioner. We can table that and move on. Let's go to item number 5,
Sir,
discuss.
before, may I
Okay.
add something to that?
Yeah, sure.
This is just sheer or mere information purposes. The annex is done for about $4,100 a year.
Yeah,
Same company, so that's just, I did not know how much it would cost. I felt the same way
You felt the same
when I
way?
got the quote. I was like, Okay, that's steeper than I imagined.
That's a lot.
But I also had nothing to compare it to, so I went ahead and did the research, and I figured out how much it cost us in 2017 to do the same thing at the annex, and it cost $4,108.37.
That's a strong bid.
Yes, and it is, I am not a maintenance, a generator, a repair.
Are we doing anything in-house to check those generators
On Wednesday, we discussed this, and I stated that we noticed some discrepancies with the generator. The oil looked like mud, it needed its fluids redone. I mean, it up to, I think it was 5 gallons of water, 2 gallons of oil needed to be added to it. And so when I went to ask building maintenance where their logs were for servicing, they could not produce any. And so I went ahead and said, we need to do something about it before our emergency equipment is no longer good. That's why this got brought up.
Any estimate about when the last service was done on it?
Is there a date on the oil filter? That's what I do to all my stuff, I put a date on the oil filter.
That's standard.
The reason I went to building maintenance is because I did not have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Looking at kind of standard maintenance on a building generator, there's weekly things that you need to do. Looking, make sure the oil is there, you have good oil, your coolant's there, your right amounts, your air filters are clean, things of that nature.
Well, up to this
Batteries
point-
are good, that you're starting it, making sure it all is serviceable weekly. There's a monthly checklist. This is the stuff that should be done in-house. And then this on top of it, bringing in the service contract.
Yeah, well, up to this point, this has been a building maintenance responsibility. We just noticed the discrepancy and wanted to address it.
Right.
Because under most circumstances, whenever the building loses power, it's usually the jail. I mean, it's emergency necessities. It's the things that we need that generator runs. And so I feel like we have a lot of interest in that.
Well, that's exactly what I'm
That's why
saying.
that's why I got brought up. I agree with you, people should be doing stuff about it, but until this point,
We need to put it on our own schedule. We don't need to rely on everyone else to do our work for us. We put it on our own schedule and at least go check the batteries and pull the dipstick once a week, fire it up, make sure it runs.
so if we fire it up every week, but that's a requirement that we have from the state. The discussion, the point I was just trying to make, I was trying to make a comparison between what we do at the annex and what we would be doing for the downtown. I'm not arguing whether or not we need to do it.
I know we're gonna have
To-
we probably do somewhere in the house, but we're not set up to do the oil changes and that type of maintenance. But the weekly, monthly routine maintenance, the check the filters, et cetera, we need to get on a schedule in-house to do those things, so we don't wake up a few years later and, wow, we haven't changed oil in this thing in 6 years. The oil looks like mud, and we have water in our filter.
Well, the oil and filter is $150, $200 in materials,
Yeah.
just to give you some perspective. You said you didn't know about it. I do know about it. I do it all the time. And this is a tremendously large bid. Air cleaner, the air cleaner in that thing shouldn't need to be changed over 5 years
No more than it
because
runs.
it's not been run in a dirty environment. But, you know, we got the right one in there. That shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, but we'll get some more numbers and we'll get it done.
Good deal.
It needs to be done.
No doubt,
Yeah, we'll come up with the right program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve quote from SKC Communications for Sharpie 80-inch touchscreen display with cart, a budgeted item for the IT department to be used to support the district and county courts at a cost of $11,195.81, including freight to be paid by transfer from 100.409.5001, the line determined by the county auditor. There you are. Step up. I thought I saw you and you were hiding behind Meredith. Good morning.
So this smart board was originally approved in the budget. It is for us to test out, to see about use in the courtrooms, and we'll be using it in the Odyssey conversion process as well.
Okay. To be used in the courtrooms.
Didn't we decide, Mark?
My gosh, that's a lot of money, guys.
In Gary Butler's
Yeah.
court.
That's a lot of money.
Because he was IT kind of smart.
He was the one that
That
was
asked for
really
it.
asking and really wanting to use it, so. My question is on the size, why the 80-inch?
As far as the size, I would say that it was that way specifically for use in the courtroom so that everyone can see it.
Is it gonna be on a car, it'll be a portable unit on a cart? and
Yeah.
Kind of do it?
Ashley is the one that mainly has done the legwork and the specs on this. She's not here today, so I've come to talk to you all about it. But according to her last estimate, that it would fit, it would be on a cart and you can move it around. Now, granted, it will be able to be moved around, but we've got to be careful when we're
I was
moving.
gonna say, that's,
It's gonna be hard to get that 80-inch in that elevator.
According to Ashley, she took a tape measure and apparently it fits.
I've slept a few nights since then, but in our budget talks last year, we discussed the difference between the 70 and an 80.
We did.
And the 70 was suitable for all the courtrooms except for the 30th because of the additional wing to the court. I distinctly remember that because we pulled the cost on the two boards.
It was
the 70
significant.
Versus the 80, and it's very significant.
Well, does the people that are in the audience in the 30th District Court that are on the back rows, do we need to spend a whole bunch of money just so they can see the screen, or is it more important that the judge and the attorneys?
The judge,
see
jury,
screen?
attorneys, everybody at the front, but there's some merit to having it being able to be seen at the back. I would think for a trial unit, one that we're getting to check out and see if it's usable for all of our purposes, that we go with the unit that is essentially half the cost.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember, there's a tremendous difference, I don't remember what it was.
I don't have those numbers in front of me, I apologize.
Yeah. Should we postpone this a week and get some additional numbers?
Do you have it?
I have just what I was able to pull online this morning. We have a Sharp Aqua ESPN L8003CA, which is the top of the line version for 2354, or the Sharp 70-inch PN L7003, which is again the top of the line, same features at $5,002.
That's significant.
That's $4,000 difference?
Yeah, that's significant.
Say it wouldn't hurt to go 70, would it? That's for a trial.
As long as you don't want to use it in the 30th.
What doesn't prohibit you from using the 30th? It's just not like going to the movie theater sitting on the back row. It's not the end of the world, and it saves
In the
$4,000.
movie theater, you want to sit in the back row.
True.
I'm gonna
You
say,
don't want to be on the front row of the court.
I was gonna say, in the courtroom, you wanna be on the back row also.
We're going to be on the back row.
I don't know, that's just significant, but once again, maybe we need to, bring me up to speed on this thing, we're talking touch screen. This is not just a video monitor, it has,
They draw on it,
They draw on
they can
it.
save.
You can-
but you draw on it with your laptop, do you know? I mean, you don't draw on the board.
You can draw on board, or you can.
You can link your laptop into it. I think these were capable of 4 or 6.
I wouldn't think you'd want somebody drawing on the screen. but-
Well, it depends. In a courtroom, it could be very advantageous to be able to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
adjust
does
the
away with the
screen.
whiteboard.
They do it in schools, they have these smart boards now, and
You don't get up there with a marker and draw on it.
No, I understand.
You use your finger or a stylus. So if you got
Yeah, I understand that.
evidence, picture of
You
a
can
crime
circle
scene,
this.
you can go circle it and you can expand it and all that good stuff. But you can also do it remote in from, I think it's either 4 or 6 laptops, I don't remember right now.
I saw it on television, some small school, I want to say Blue Grove, I don't know why. Is it Blue Grove?
I don't know.
They have one in every classroom, and they love it.
I just
I
want,
think it's a great move.
I just
to
want to
do
point out that
this.
there's a significant difference between education prices and government prices. Education gets half the price of what we have.
Oh,
We don't know what they cost, so it's, you know, we don't have to go for it, so.
But they use it a lot, that's
Yes.
what I'm saying, it's a great
Yes.
tool. And I'm kind of excited, Judge Butler really wanted to get one of these, and he thought it would enhance his court and make it better. So, it's like anything else, technology's really coming along. I still, we do the 70-inch and put it in Judge Butler's courtroom.
Well,
We'll put it on a card, so that's all,
But I think the goal is to have several of these at some point.
If it works out.
if this works out in the long run.
That's the goal.
yes.
That's why I asked Ashley a couple of months back, or at least a month
Yeah.
back, to start looking at it so we can
If
see if
you,
it works, so we can address it in this upcoming budget,
We-
whether we want to buy another one.
we've taken quotes on wiring these courtrooms and putting these monitors up on a permanent basis. And the reason we backed away from that is because of the remodel that is inevitable at some point in the near future. So no need in going in and hardwiring all this stuff and mounting all this stuff until we get the courtroom where it's gonna be for a while. So that's how we got over on this portable deal. That's what the discussion was over the last year.
It's a lot cheaper.
And it is a lot cheaper. We're talking $50,000-$60,000 a pop to wire and, you know, and set that up. And then you're locked down as to where your monitors are, and you're not able to move it to adjust the conditions, so.
And if I could just add one more point to that too, as we move to Odyssey, we anticipate using a board like this in various places, like jail annex for magistration and the grand jury room, because as we move to electronic documents, they've got to be able to pull something up and sign it. And so these are computers built into them. You
Yeah.
can hook them up to 4 or 5 computers, but it's also a computer itself.
Sure, yeah.
And so you can sign documents electronically, e-file them, you know, it's
Well, I'm sorry.
necessary for us in the future.
I'm excited that we're moving forward on this, just moving forward at the right pace, so to speak. I'm not in for the 80s right now. I think there's only one place that we need an 80, and that's in the 30th.
And at some point in the future, if we need that, we can add it.
We can add.
And that was my point. We're gonna be adding several of these as we move along, if this works out the way we're supposed to. Well, that, you know, if this was a $500 difference, that'd be one thing,
Yeah, it's not.
but it's not. I mean, this is a major,
And I got a 70-inch TV in my living room, it's plenty big.
I'm gonna say, yeah, it's,
Can I just point out one thing? Are you looking at documents on your TV?
No.
The text size.
My wife looks at her Facebook on it.
I look at
Is that the
documents
same
on
thing you're
mine.
talking about?
I've got a 70-inch,
It would be similar, yeah.
yeah.
Videos are a whole lot better on that 70-inch TV than it is on your phone.
Correct.
So she just, is it Comcast? She hooks it up, she just does it on a big TV.
Audio, visual, video, different ballpark than displaying a PDF of a court document.
Yeah.
To be able to read the text at a distance. Just one.
Well, as long as you're from me to you, that's the only distance we really care about.
So again, the discussion last year during budget was that a 70 would be suitable for the 89, the 78, CCO 1 and 2. The only one it would not be suitable for would be the 30, because it's twice as long. The room is twice as long as the others.
But it would be interesting to roll that 70 in there and see how it actually works.
Yeah, and that's,
It really would.
let's experiment with,
Mark, that's what you would do at your house.
yeah,
That's what I'd do at my house.
let's
This is
see.
government, so we do something different, which is part
Let's
of the
see what the
problem.
70 gets us. And from that, we can budget accordingly next year. If we want to do 2 additional 70s or another 80 or whatever the case is.
So make a motion.
I would make a motion that we proceed with the 70, since this quote's not an actual quote, so I'm going to pull it off the internet and I'll say, let's go up to 7,000 to cover the cart and anything else that might be needed.
Okay, do I have a second? Comment?
I don't have an official, I don't have a quote in front of me for the 70-inch.
Well, would you want to pull this and bring it back next week and we could compare the two? Would that make sense? Where you've got an actual quote for an 80, actual quote for a 70, and then you'd know exactly what you're talking about. Because we're speculating now.
From my perspective, that would be better.
And a week's delay on this thing is probably not going to wreck the world, but,
Oh,
I mean, is that a great way to,
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Say, Cody?
I mean, I'd really like to see what the real numbers are.
Right.
I mean, we can say it's 4,000.
And
Yeah.
7,000 may do it, but I don't want
Yeah, and
to lock
then,
you in and then.
and then see if there's something that we're missing in this discussion. Ashley's been working on this project and she's not here, and I just think, and you know, it just seems to me like it makes sense to come back, take a look at it and take action on it. So if that suits everybody, let's just table that for a week, get the other quotes, and we'll put it back on the agenda. So you see that that's back on, Nancy, for next week? Because sometimes we drop the ball if we're not careful. Any comments from the audience?
Thanks, Cody.
Commissioners, move on. Thank you, Cody. We know we need to do it, but, you know, $4 or $5 grand is a pretty big deal. We already bought on Lieutenant Spiegel's $3,000 tool, so. Item number 6, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve contract for DNS Engineering Labs for construction materials testing services for Wichita County Law Enforcement Center at a cost not to exceed $200,000 to be paid from Fund 405 Law Enforcement Center. Commissioner Beecham?
yeah, I've asked Ralph to come in and
Okay, great.
give us the thought process on that. We did have two companies that gave a proposal. This one was the more responsive of the two proposals, but
Can you
I'll
take-
let Ralph get into the weeds.
Can you take 2 less tests for 100? Thank you, Ralph. What you got?
You're falling into the Lee Harvey trap.
Yeah.
Just to review, part of the thing about when we're doing testing or when we're doing construction, using the CMAR at risk process, state law says that we will have a third-party testing agency to do the work that's working for you or the owner. So we've dealt with a lot of folks in our part of the world over time, 4 or 5 people on a regular basis. 2 specifically used to be a different company, but Braun Intertech has bought out our local people, and so they're the ones that are local. The other one is several offices around, probably the closest one's either Fort Worth or Ardmore. But we invited 5 different companies, and we published a proposal to ask them to submit their interest. Because remember, this is a professional service, so as a result, we can't take bids. So we ask y'all's permission to go and negotiate with DNS Engineering, who we had recommended as the one that would be our recommendation to you in terms of the choice of the testing agency, which they have provided to us a proposed letter, which was marked April 26th. I think you all have that, but it's based on 50% construction documents, which we had at the time. They had said that they were estimated at about $142,752. We suggested a $200,000 amount because the plans have progressed, and it is an estimate, and we do have a fee schedule, again, which I think we've provided to you all that lists the amount for each kind of test. So as it progresses along, they submit reports and payments for us, and to us to be forwarded to you guys, and we check those against the work that they've done and matching up bills with test reports to be sure that they're charging for things that they've actually done. And then we'll forward it to you guys for consideration for payment to the auditor. We, as I said, we had asked 5 different companies. The 2 that had responded was DNS Engineering Labs and Braun Intertech, both of which we have worked with before. These are companies that we're familiar with and have worked with them before. The reason that we're recommending the DNS is because in recent time, when Braun Intertech changed, they pretty well lost everybody in this organization in our part of the world. The main boss here locally went to Arkansas, I think. He got him a much better job in Arkansas, so you can't blame him for going. And a couple of other people that were there left, and the people that were left were
That's good enough. That's good enough.
we felt like we probably should
Look elsewhere.
go elsewhere because the DNS has multiple engineers involved, multiple places that they can draw on. So what we've suggested that we do is enter into a contract with them, and I believe Meredith has looked at most of that already. And, but with the stipulation that it, will not exceed $200,000 unless approved by the court. And what we do is when it gets up about 80% of that, we'll monitor it and say, okay, how much more we think we're going to have, and then if it's necessary, we'll come back to you and say, we probably need to increase that another $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000, whatever it may be. But there was a complete list of the test reports that they're going to be doing, which involves everything from soil compaction to concrete testing. They particularly have one, DNS has a company or people in their staff that are very familiar with the sandwich tilt wall panels, which we're going to have on this one. So and they would produce
It's a
that
key
person.
element in the.
Right, and so we really felt like that was the benefit of the county to have someone with that experience looking it over.
So, Mr. Perkins, is this over and on top of the $70 million? Is this the liability that comes to the county, or does this come out of your pot?
Sorry, my pocket's empty. So
Your pot, your $70 million pot.
It's in the $6 million.
This is all within the 70 million.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
part of it.
all part of the overall estimate.
So something that you took into account when you
Yeah.
put your numbers together,
I
that you
think
knew you were
we
gonna have to
estimated
have.
250,000, so I was pleased that it came in less.
Right.
But we had that amount of money earmarked for this, like we've done for furniture, other things, equipment, stuff like that. That's all part of that. That's
So do we
why.
need to lower your 70 million by 50,000?
No, you probably need to increase it. I'm probably a bit misestimated.
Easy. Be careful what you ask for, Commissioner.
So it's, what my point is, it's something you knew you had to do, you put a budgeted number in there, it came in under.
We think.
I mean, his estimate came in under, so.
So
I think
we're
we
pleased
should
with
have-
it, and we're pleased with the company, so we recommended that you approve
I would make
this.
the motion to go as stated in the document.
Motion by Commissioner Beecham, do I have a second?
Second?
Got a second by Commissioner Harvey. Any discussion from the audience, any questions? We'll ask for the vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and it passes 3.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph, appreciate that. Item number 8, discuss, consider, and/or take action to estimate from Nemo's Concrete the cost of $2,050. What?
You do 7 first, then do 8.
I'm doing, I'm sorry, it's number 7. Well, I got to read and I got off on the wrong line, it's the same deal, but it's different. Discuss, consider, take action, and estimate from Nemo's Concrete the cost of $4,800 for a concrete pad for oil room at Precinct 2 barn to be paid from Precinct 2 supplies and operations as available to line determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Harvey?
We had our lean-to built, and in the corner of it, we put a roll-up door, a walk-through door, and a wall. And it is a dirt floor, and our health department said that we can't store our oil drums on a dirt floor, so we had to pour a slab with a curb, kind of a little, give it leak.
Catchment area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a catchment area for our oil. And I make a motion that we approve it as presented.
Second.
Got a second? Any comments or questions from the audience? Comments or questions from the commissioners? I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That will pass 3-0. Now to number 8, discuss, consider, and/or take action on estimate from Nemo's Concrete at a cost of $2,050 for a concrete pad for the air conditioner in the evidence room at the Sprague Annex to be paid from Permanent Improvement Fund. Are we finally getting that close to having that done?
Yes.
That's good. Mr. Harvey?
Okay.
Good project.
These are package units, and they are just about half as big as that conference table right there. They're 10 feet long and 6 feet wide. I mean, they're huge, and there's two of them. And these will be two concrete pads sitting on the ground, 40 or so, 50 feet apart, and those units will sit on that. And then we will make our wall penetrations, and that will go to our evidence room. So, was this paid for right? Willie? You want to pay for that out of the permanent improvement fund, or do you want to charge it to the evidence room? Well, never mind.
We got a project number.
I got it.
Okay.
I get whatever you charge it to, the permanent improvement fund's paying for it.
Is that your motion?
It is.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve number 8. Any questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none, I call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and it passes 3-0. Number 9, discuss, consider, and undertake action, approve submitted proposals for carpeting in the 78th District Courtroom with cost to be paid from 100-510-4452 repairs and maintenance buildings to line determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Beecham, are you heading this one out?
Yeah.
I think so, that was support
It's
on
a
that.
joint venture.
Yeah, joint venture. You want to comment?
We do have two estimates. They're considerably different for the exact same carpet tiles.
Same brand.
Same brand, same tiles, so don't have an explanation as to why they're so vastly different. We had one proposal from Texas Carpet Outlet for $4,845.52, and one from Regal for the $9,100 even.
What would you propose, the 48-45?
Yes. And these were estimates that were gathered on our behalf by Hudson Blueprint, Donna Murray. She was looking at other improvements that we wanted to do first, but i.e. fixing the paneling, but we have not been successful in finding somebody to fix the paneling.
I sent her an email and told her to hang pictures. Forget it.
Okay.
Is that your motion, Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay. Total of 48-45-52.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from the audience?
What was Regal's bid?
9100.
And just, we did measure all the courtrooms, and I would like at some time to look at doing the district courts, all three of them, because they are all in bad shape.
Well, our goal in this, when we started this project, was to pick them off and do them as we can. And you don't really want to be dealing with all three of them at the same time anyway.
No,
That way you've got them in service.
And
And it'll be done on the weekend.
Yeah, as far as we know.
It's gotta be done when the court's on session, so Friday afternoon until Monday morning at 8, it's wide open.
We have a motion and a second for the Texas Carpet Outlet bid of 48-45-52. Once again, any comments from the audience? Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And motion passes 3-0. Number 10, receive update on Law Enforcement Center project from Commissioner Beecham.
not a lot to report. Everything is moving along as expected. The biggest thing that's going to happen this week is a pre-bid conference on Thursday. So any of the subs will have an opportunity to ask questions and get their questions recorded and answered. So other than that, things are moving along just as scheduled, so.
Any questions for the Commissioner on that project from the audience? Any comments?
You
Commissioner
got a
Harvey?
report this week yet? Is that what I didn't hear you?
No, we do have a pre-bid conference this week.
Okay.
It's on Thursday. So that'll be at the Vernon College meeting room, whatever it's called. That'll be for any subs to come in and take a look and ask questions, have the questions answered, or get it over to the right people to get answers.
What that is, Bob, is the contractors have been given a scope of work, and they reviewed it. So what you do is you have a pre-bid conference, and you have to bring everybody in together, so that if this guy has a question that this guy didn't think about asking, he gets to hear it too. So a pre-bid conference brings all the contractors together, they all get to ask their questions in public, so that they all get the same information, so that hopefully when they turn in their bids, they're apples to apples. So it's just a good way to facilitate a defined scope of work.
Right. Those questions will be recorded and broadcast to anybody that would be bidding, so.
What time Thursday, Commissioner?
1:30, I believe. Is that on the schedule?
Looking at a midsummer groundbreaking, Commissioner? Something like that?
Groundbreaking, I'll tell you what date that is. I think it is July 27th
Okay.
is groundbreaking.
Why don't you wait and just do it in the heat of the summer?
Well, it could be one.
Willie
Keep this thing on
caught
schedule?
it, Willie caught it.
You won't keep this thing on schedule?
It is in the heat of the summer.
It's going to be raining that day anyway, so it'll work. Anything else, Commissioner?
Bob, it's not showing up on my phone calendar. I'll have to look on my hard calendar on my desk and make sure it's ready.
See there, that bigger screen will pay off.
It's not on the screen, it's just not showing on my calendar for some reason.
They didn't put it on there.
Okay, you missed your shot there, you missed your chance.
Plus, I have my glasses on.
Yeah, that makes a difference. Anything else,
No,
Commissioner?
unless anyone has any questions, everything is proceeding as planned at this point.
Very good. We're excited to get it moving forward.
Keep those reports on just in case anyone has questions. And the documents that we go over every week on weekly meetings are attached to the agenda, so.
Public comments, anybody in the audience?
Actually, I do. We had our first 2 passports
Oh, good.
Thursday.
Good.
They were a little unusual. We realized that we didn't have everything we totally need. We need some type of security tape, so I will have to try to find that. But they're to be expedited, so we have to get that done. We did have to.
You should have gotten 2 calls this morning from people that were wanting passports. That one of my friends was on Facebook wanting to know about going to Seymour to get their passport. You don't have to go to Seymour any longer. You can go to the county courthouse, so. And
I think it's gonna be a great service.
It will be.
When I walked in Thursday, they went, "We're gonna kill you." So, yeah, they weren't very excited about the way these had to be done, but hey, it was a learning experience, so, but we have had to.
Very good. Very good.
I'm pleased to have that service to our community.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I predict it will be popular. It's going to be popular. And now, just to explain, you can do the photograph, you can do the whole deal right there. You don't have to bring.
Stop shop.
And people don't have to call and make an appointment and wait a month to get in.
Yeah.
Walk up and say, I need a passport, and get a
You
passport.
don't have
As
to
long
go
as
to
one of the
Walgreens.
people is in the office that can do them, yes. I'm not allowed to do them.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that.
What's required, a photo ID?
Got her good.
For the
Wish I knew how to turn
bring in
that on.
information,
Just push the button
you
on the
need
side.
your birth certificate, and if you don't have your picture, then that.
Okay.
We do have to have 2 forms of payment, one for our fee, and then one to send off for the passport. That has to be a money order or a cashier's check.
And you
Which they
can,
can get at your counter.
No, I can't do cashier's checks.
and you can do
Can you do a
renewals.
money order?
Yes, yes. Money, no, I can't do money orders, but they have to bring that in with them because we have to mail that, the state's fee off to the state.
Interestingly enough, when I had mine redone last year, I took the picture, and my printer has a passport choice, and it prints you the perfect size passport picture, so, you know.
Well, the ladies have played with the camera
Yeah.
and stuff, so I am ordering more paper to just to have on hand just in case, because it has to be that certain
It's
size.
gotta be for a certain size.
So once you set the parameters, just lock it in and they'll always be that size. Just, save your.
Because the people aren't the same size.
They gotta be inside. Lori, I think that it would help with some frustration on our citizens' part. If they called up there and asked you about a passport, you could say, hey, be sure you bring the cashier's check or a money order for X amount, and you can use cash or credit card for the other. I mean,
Well, that's the same thing at the post office.
Yeah.
So they can do
Yeah.
money orders or whatever, but you have to bring cash.
But it's very frustrating to show up and you've got everything except that one piece. And you-
if they know on the phone, if they call, give them a heads up, you're gonna have whatever,
Yeah, have a check with
So
us.
that way they can come up there and just get it done.
Yeah, have a check.
That'd be awesome.
Anybody else in the audience, comments? Bob Hamlin, you see that onions?
I got onions.
Good.
It's for the shrine, which helps the hospitals, which
Down in your office.
down in my office, just let me know I can deliver.
Those are good potatoes.
I got the last bag of them.
And like Lord, I take cash.
I need that.
I got the last bag out of that mail
Or an
cart.
hour you. Sir,
I got the last bag out of that mail cart.
I got them, brother.
You got some more?
I got some more.
Okay,
Okay.
good, I need
They're
that.
certainly good.
They're very good, anyway. Anybody else?
Mother's love.
Yep, sweet onions.
Mr. Beecham?
Since Ms. Bohannon was up, talking about our polling locations that are changing, that's a work in process. We've identified at least 10 potential new locations for polling in upcoming November general. Continue, it's a work in progress, but things will be definitely different come November, since we've lost the ability to use Wichita Falls schools as well as CU schools.
Burke schools.
Burke out too? Okay. All the above. So, but that is a work in continuance. Right now, the ones that we have, at least have tentative approval on, it makes the map much more diverse, in my opinion. It's more evenly divided across Wichita Falls. So we're about 2 holes short of filling it, making that map look really good.
And they will be vote centers,
There will be vote centers.
Which is-
That's,
important.
yeah. So anybody would be able to go to any location, but taking this opportunity to get them more evenly distributed throughout the towns. We're having essentially some polling places are back to back within a block of each other, across the street from each other, across the fence from each other in one case. So I think we'll end up with a much better product at the end of the day. Still got work to do though.
Very good.
Other than that, the Memorial Day observance yesterday at County Cemetery was very good, very, very nicely attended. The riderless horse was, it got you, it got you, so. Just again, say thank you to everyone that still serves, whether in the military or as a first responder, and to all those that have given that ultimate sacrifice to make sure that we have the freedom to enjoy our country, the greatest nation ever, and that we can sit up here and serve our community too, because of those guys and ladies that have given their sacrifice. So, thank you.
Commissioner Hayward?
Our veterans, our Memorial Day service at Burke, we met at 11 at the cemetery, and a bunch of our vets had gotten out there and putting American flags beside every tombstone of every vet that had served. Our cemetery looked like a big old flag. It's amazing the amount of military people that are buried there in Burke. And every year, I've been going to the Veterans Day and the Memorial Day service there. Pat Norris is always leading the charge. She's great about that. But we've always had 3 World War II vets there. And we just had one this year. We lost 2. And there's some widows of our vets that lost their life in action that always attend, and they're getting up there. We've got a Gold Star mother that we always celebrate every year. She lost 2 sons in the war. And the sacrifices that people made to keep this country, as screwed up as it is, we still love it. I mean, you know, it could be a whole lot worse, I promise you. But on days like that, and whenever the tombstone is flagged, it kind of hits home that took a lot of people to get it done. And it's kind of good to, one thing I wish we could do, I wish we could pack that, in Burke, they hold the ceremony there in the cemetery, but I wish they could pack that with our children from our schools so that they would get a glimpse of what has transpired. You know, they don't have a clue, you know, and they won't know until we educate them on it. So I really wish that we could figure that out, to get our children involved in Veterans Day and Memorial Day services would be a good thing. So we left the service and went to the American Legion and had a wonderful meal. The weather was just right to sit out under the shade tree and have hamburgers and hot dogs and visit and listening to those old stories. I got there at 11. I didn't leave there till about 2:30. That's how much we sat and visited with those guys. It was really good. I encourage you to attend one of those. If you can just take the time to go do it, I think it would be a blessing to you. This afternoon, the Redneck Culinary Academy is going to cook and serve to our cancer survivors here in Wichita County. I may not be limited to Wichita County, maybe in this surrounding area. I think we're going to feed about 300 folks this afternoon. We serve at 6. You know, we get a lot of requests to help people, and nothing makes me prouder of our guys who donate their money and their time to provide that service for free to those people. So I don't know if you've ever had cancer or had somebody in your family that's had cancer. Not only is it physically detrimental, it's financially detrimental. And to be able to provide them with a social that doesn't cost them a dime is rewarding for me. So enjoy to do that. I hope you will tell a cancer survivor today, this is Cancer Survivor Day, I suppose, that they coordinated it on that day, that you love them. So that's what we're going to do today, is reach out and tell them we love them, and we're glad that they survived. That's it. That's all I can think of right now.
Wheat harvest underway in Wichita County, which will put some extra traffic on our rural roads for a few days. It's not going to last long with the hot, dry weather. They'll have this thing cleaned up probably this week. Just a lot of activity. We've got a lot of road work going on that got slowed down by the rains about a week ago, but that was a good thing.
Had to go back and fix everything we'd done.
That was a good thing.
Washed it out.
That was a good thing. Anyway, a lot of road work going on as we get ready for paving season for summertime, and so, yeah, rural areas, there's a lot of traffic, a lot going on. Just be cautious. We'd encourage you to do that. And Nancy? You got a report? No, nothing else. If there's no further business, court is adjourned at 10:59.
Judge for the day, budget work sessions this afternoon.
I don't have one listed.
That's on the next page.